You want to talk about how Uber's algorithm is broken? Or do you have an idea? Because I'm the one who titled it today.
Yeah, it's broken. Broken as it gets, bro. Broken. Yeah, Uber. Okay, we're not gonna keep. We're not, I'm gonna stop saying Uber is watching because by now everybody should know Uber is watching. Look, we all we want to do is we want to alert the community to things that are happening. This may be happening to just 1 out of 100 drivers, but 1 out of 100 drivers, if you scale it to the 6.5 million drivers they have, Chris, there's a lot. Okay. So, and then one thing I figured yesterday, by the way. So I was at LAX for 6 hours. I literally 100 people walked up to me and they recognized me and they said, Sergio, you're here. I gave them my card. That's how you grow a community. Talk to them for 5-10 minutes each. And everybody's problem to them, right, is the world. To Uber, no, it's not the world because their scale is massive. Am I going to say they don't care? To a point, yeah, they don't care. Honestly, they don't care. You're just a pebble on the beach. But what we do or we care about is you bring it to us. We have their ear, and before it becomes a huge, neighborhood on fire, we try to stop these things because you're getting paid less. Now we call it different names, shaving, this, that, and we prove it. I mean, these are screenshots of things that are happening. We are not putting these in Adobe Photoshop and creating problems for Uber, which we don't want to do. We actually want to solve problems. So with that said, we have something new that came to us from Chicago. And I'm like, why does these kind of thing always happen in favor of Uber, Chris? Why? Why is it always in favor of Uber?
I don't know, but just to go back on a couple of things, we started with the algorithmic wage discrimination that we were talking about. Basically, we had two brothers who were sitting next to each other. One had a Tesla, one didn't, and just to see what they were getting when it came to the ride offers, they were wildly different. Then you did a thing at Curbivore in March with a couple of drivers to see what was going on there when it came to the ride requests that were coming in. Sort of the same thing. I did the same thing in Chicago as well when I was there in May. And we found the EV shaving at that point where EV drivers were not getting paid the full $1, but right around 80 cents or so on average for the most. We've seen shaving or wage theft when it came to, pretty much all aspects when it came to this algorithm. Whenever it came to tipping, that was a big thing. We saw tipping decreasing the base fare after the ride was completed when the ride went through, if there was a tip added to that. We saw the base fare go down when it came to surge. So instead of being in addition to, it was crumbled in altogether and accumulated like a snowball. So yeah, we've seen all of this type of different shaving all over, and that's kind of what we termed it and coined it. But when Sean, thanks, appreciate that super chat.
Thank you,
Stop
Sean.
by, say hello.
Merci.
Appreciate that. But yeah, we have another one that you guys need to watch out for when it comes down to it. And this is something we talked about on the Lyft platform, but we didn't see it on the Uber platform until just now. So make sure when you are paying attention to your reservation rides, see what the ride offer is, and then see what you get paid for it. Do they match? Because if they don't, that's going to be another issue that we're talking about. So this is where we're talking about the algorithm is going in its own system, and I don't know what coding they put in, but I mean, some of these coders need to really look at what's going on with the code and fix it. Not something where it's going to change the base fare after the fact, or you accept the rate at one rate and then all of a sudden it's going to change later. Same thing with reservation. I mean, let's just face it. The algorithm is completely broken. You know what I call for? I call for going back to time and distance until you can figure this stuff out. And then if you want to roll this back out, you can. But this has got to be fixed. I
Yeah,
mean, because the problem is, what if this is going on all over the place? And then how many times is this happening? Again, you said over 6.5 million drivers that are out on the road right now. What happens if this is going on in just a fraction of them? 0.1%. I mean, you're still talking about 65,000 drivers. And if it's a couple of dollars here or there, that adds up over time. We talked about the 5 and 10 cent shaving when it came to dropping fares or something because of upfront fares. and all of this
Yeah, I
different
mean,
stuff.
but Chris, so I had many of these this week that I received, okay?
Mhm.
Chicago, different cities, right? So some of them could be talked about because the trip may have gone 1/10 of a mile less, and Uber algo goes, oh, I'm going to shave it, a few dollars here, a few cents here, right? So I literally like went through a whole bunch, and I found one that Uber cannot say anything about this at all, like nothing, okay? Look at the time and distance on the reservation screen.
Oh yeah,
18.9 miles and 23 minutes. Okay?
which is
And
damn
look
spot
what
on
happened
for the
after the trip.
actual.
The
Yeah, look at
actual,
that.
literally, like, I'm going like, okay, so the trip one that came in, the driver accepted this contract, Uber, at 38.18, period. Okay. Now, if this trip had gone maybe half a mile short, we know what happens when it goes over. They don't adjust, but when it goes short, they pound it, right? I go like, I got to
Mhm.
find one that is identical to the final product. And there it is, 18.94 miles and 23 minutes and 30 seconds. I mean, could we get any closer to the
No, I think
pre and
that's
after?
spot on when it comes to the
Right,
estimation.
right? So what happened to the $1.80?
I don't know. Went into
Uber,
somebody's pocket.
hello? What's up? Right? Okay. So to us, this is another problem. I mean, we talk about shaving this, doing this, shaving that, this, that. This is happening on, this has been going on Lyft. When I talk to David Richard, I go, hey man, look, schedule, is showing up at one price, and when the trip is concluded or when the ping is coming in, it's less. It's pure bait and switch. We are, look,
Mhm.
on this channel, we are based on numbers, facts. We don't do innuendo, we don't do hearsay, we don't do this, we don't do that. This is fact. Math don't lie right here. If this trip had been half a mile shorter, I wouldn't put it up, saying that algorithm maybe decided that half a mile is $1.80 less for the driver. Well, then in this case, there is no coming back to this, Uber. This is blatant, I don't know, thievery, because I am, as an independent contractor, I am accepting a contract from you at 38.18. Even if the trip goes a little shorter, you still shouldn't be messing up with that. But let's say you have the choice or right to, or whatever it is, or your algo is written that way. But when it's identical, the end product or result is identical to what my initial contract is, because I accepted this as 38.18.
Mhm.
Why am I getting paid $1.80 less? And then on your scale, Uber, at your scale, 2.44 billion trips, okay? This is just one. How many are there? I don't know, because I'm not privy to that information. You have the number, you have the data, Uber. And I just don't want to see this, because this driver now is going to go to your support black hole and try to get his $1.80 back in about 45 minutes of garbage chatting. This is not necessary. If you show me upfront 38.18, pay me 38.18, none of this will be here. We wouldn't be even talking about this. So
Yep.
this is the problem we're trying to fix. And every single week, there is an additional problem. Is it your algo that's broken? Is it intentionally this way? Because there cannot be these many glitches in a high-tech company or IT company or whatever you guys call yourselves.
Well, you
This
know what?
doesn't
Here's
work.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit. You know, if you're writing an algorithm and you're doing it at scale for 2.4 billion trips or 2.44 billion trips, and you're trying to get it to accommodate for 70 plus uh, different things on why the fare is the way it is, besides like the time and distance, which factor they say the majority of it, but then there's all these other little factors that go into it. I mean, what if it was the algorithm that's at fault and all these coders are trying to do it one way, and it's breaking it with inside. So that's why I say I think it's broken, and I think that they need to scrap it right now, kind of like how they had to scrap all of Cruise, which we're going to talk about later. But like I mean, go back to time and distance, give us the upfront information, give us the estimate. So let's say you have the estimate for the pickup and the drop off. Give us that based on time and distance as an estimate. It doesn't have to be the actual, but at least we can see. Let us know where it is. Go back to time and distance. We're good there. Fix what you need to fix here, because it'll solve all these problems, because you're gonna know that you're getting that extra dollar, because again, your time and distance rates are right there. You get that extra dollar for your EV. You're getting your added money for your surge. You're getting your added money for your streak bonuses and all of those things. You're getting the actual what you agreed upon when it comes to the reservation ride. It eliminates all of that crap. We don't have to worry about it then. And then that way you can take your 33,000 coders and, have them do something a little bit different. I don't know why you need that many still, but.
Yeah, but there was a comment, so I think it was Kevin Bishop. He said, I put it up. He said, I always get paid $1 more. Great. Please, Sergio at the RideShareGuy.com, send me that, because we're not going to just put up the negative. We're also going to put the positive, because he's kind of assuming that because he shows up early, the system is geared up for you to show up early, because they make you turn your app on 40 minutes or 30 minutes before the reservation time anyway. So I don't think it has anything to do with you showing up early or a minute before the reservation or 40 minutes and wait there for nothing, for no reason whatsoever. So, but send it to me, Sergio at the RideShareGuy.com. We'll put that up. You said every one of your trips, you get paid $2 or more. Great. I haven't seen it, but if there is one that exists, Sergio at the RideShareGuy.com, send it to me. And so this is another problem. And again, nitpicking this and that. This is not nitpicking, because at their scale, $2 is a lot of money if you extrapolate that into 2.44 billion trips, because we don't know how many it's happening on. I'm assuming it's happening on many. If it's happening to one, it's happening to many. And Chris is 100% right. With this upfront, anything is on the table. Anything is on the table. Okay. Search shaving, bush shaving, quest shaving, EV shaving, whatever shaving you want to call it, because it's easily done. Because we don't know. The algorithm is so opaque, we don't know what goes in it. I don't know how many people at Uber know what goes in it, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? You go, boom, there's a price. I'm like, what did you base that on? I'm not even sure. For, I don't know, centuries, transportation is based on distance and time. Nothing more, nothing less. What is this based on? I have no idea. But, let us know. Send me your email, Sergio at the RideShareGuy.com. Good or bad. It doesn't have to be bad. Send me something good. We'll put up the good as well.
So I see a comment here. I'm going to highlight it in a second. I want your reaction to this. So it says, problem is that you guys are only talking about it and doing nothing about it. Last I checked, we can't do anything about it except for bring it to people's attention so then they can know what's going on. And yes, there has been things that have been taken care of that has been going on in Uber when we have come forward and brought this evidence forward that they have changed things. So I don't know what you're talking about, but
I mean, look, for the uninformed, right? What goes in the background is none of their business, and they don't know, and they don't need to know. But Michael, if you don't think we don't do anything about it, and your only conclusion is that we got to go on strike and we got to do this and we got to do that, you're 100% mistaken. Number one. Number two, maybe you should check the history of what we've done. And in fact, last Monday when Uber announced, all these changes, yes, a lot of people said it doesn't pay me more. Yeah, it doesn't pay you more, but you got to be patient. And a lot of those things is because it was a lot of our community suggestions, right? From unjust deactivation to rider IDs checks, and I mean, look, these are good things that are happening. You can't just be stuck in the century ago and say, what are you doing about it? I mean, we got drivers, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars in California in April. I'd like to see one other channel that's doing as much as we're doing, analyzing, informing, making sure drivers figure out what their rights are. Because once we do voice it here, things are being done, things are being fixed. Like this problem, I expect it to be fixed probably within a couple of weeks at Uber. So, but, everybody's opinion is welcome here. So we'll take it the way it is.
Yep. All right. So you sent me a couple of these screenshots and put it in with this topic.
This has been going on. This is like, I literally sent a package to Uber yesterday saying, don't do this, because this is what Lyft does, right? This is pretty simple. I love my drivers now. When they send me screenshots, they just make it super easy for me. Okay, so his schedule, this has been going on in Lyft. In fact, 2 months ago when I interviewed, or a month and a half ago, interviewed David Risher, I said, David Risher, this is happening. This needs to end, right? You guys are shaving constantly on these scheduled trips. He goes, yeah, we'll fix it. I don't know if it's fixed because I got this yesterday. I don't think it's fixed. So the estimate on the upfront was $14.36. This guy was in a $4.50 bonus zone, or surge in Lyft's case, bonus. And then he finished the trip, and well, 1436 plus 450 is 1886. That's my math. I'm pretty good at adding because since upfront came around, I've become terrific at PEMDAS now, Chris. My math has improved so much now, in about 10 seconds. And where is the 80 cents? What happened?
Actually, I think it's a little different because it looks like the ride request came in at 1788 with a $4.50 bonus. So shouldn't he have gotten paid 1788 instead of 1436?
Well, no, the way I look at it is that, look, there was a scheduled trip. He was in a bonus zone. You just got to add those up. Let's just add the scheduled trip and the bonus zone number up. It's $18.86. And the trip, including the bonus, which I understand, came in at 1786 or 88. Well, it shouldn't have come. This should have paid or come in at 1886. Period. There is no ifs and buts. Math is simple. You add the two up, and then when the trip came in, again, if you look at the time and distance, Chris, right, 6.3 miles on the scheduled trip screen, and the time and distance identical. You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So nothing changed. It wasn't short. It wasn't long. Why did this guy get the offer at 80 cents less than what it should have gotten it? So I told Uber, this is what Lyft is doing. Don't do it.
But again, the ride request on the right is what came in before when he accepted it at 1788, but he only got paid 1436.
Yeah, which included the 450 surge, which he's entitled to because he's in the 450 bonus. So.
Oh, okay. No, okay, yeah. No, I'm sorry, I'm looking at it wrong. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So this is exactly what I told her. I go, don't do this, and then I said, this is what Lyft is doing, so don't do this, right? Literally, that's what I said to Uber, and let's see what they do. See,
Yeah. So again, just make sure you're paying attention with all this stuff because it can happen, and if it happens to you, it's probably going to piss you off because a few dollars here, a few dollars there may not seem like a lot, but over time it can add up. And when it came to the EV shaving, how many people got how much money back? If you were one of those people that got any money back because of the EV shaving problems, and you got your reimbursement, I mean, how much did you make? That's all money that you should have had already to begin with. Yeah, it's nice that it made it back to your pocket, but what about all these ones that come in when it comes to, the reservation shaving, when it comes to the surge being jumbled in with the actual price, lowering the base fare? We've seen 50-cent base fare, 75-cent base fare. I mean, we've seen negative base fares on Uber Eats orders and things like that. So these types of things really need to be looked at and handled properly and a lot better when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.